Good.
As I said, welcome, 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 and I hope you're as excited as I am today. You're with me, Miriam, Banda, and today I have another exciting guest for you. I know we didn't do a program, and I'll give you a little explanation of why we didn't do that this week, but I just wanted to welcome you all today to the radio program. How is your weekend going? How is it going? How is your day going? Mine is going great, and just a shout out to our co-host Natasha Luestia. Right now, I just want to send love, and I hope you send love to Natasha, who's right now in Zuzu. She has just lost her grandfather. Wishing the entire family all the best and condolences, all of our condolences. And those of you that would like to reach out, you can reach out through our Facebook page, and you can reach out through our WhatsApp group. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as I've already said, today we have a guest. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Welcome to our show.
I'm so happy to be here.
I know you are.
Yes.
I don't think you're as happy as I am to have you.
Yeah, I think this has been one of those shows that I've always, followed because the conversation is quite interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, you have interesting guests coming here always, and I've always had fun to watch. I think the live feeds that you've been putting and just seeing what is happening, and I think you have good content for women right now as well as everyone around through the ministry. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. We have a fan, guys. And unfortunately, today we'll not be able to go Facebook Live. We didn't do Apostles. I've already said our producer and co-host is not in the right space to be able to do that. But we are live on radio, and we will share the link to the podcast. This show will be shared through the podcast, so people will have access to it.
Amazing.
But anyway, let's get right into it. So I'm sure my listeners are like, okay, Miriam, what are you trying to do today? So maybe let's have an intro. What do I want to learn from the intro? There's a lot to know about you, so yeah. I'm trying to figure out what do I want to know. Okay, so give us an intro in your own way.
All right, my name is McDonald Nyoni. I am a technology and a development expert or stroke enthusiastic person or someone who's very interested in these spaces. Okay. So in terms of work, I work for British Council as the head of programs, managing the portfolio of programs that side. And personally, I'm a consultant, so I consult for a company called Mad Talented. So it's a digital company where we consult on digital programming and a number of things. But I'm here as a person who is passionate about digital and who's passionate about development, and I'm happy to be here to share.
Wow, okay. Mr. McDonald Nyoni, welcome.
Yes,
welcome to the Woman of Worth. You have already said you're a fan and you follow our conversations. And over the past few weeks, we've been talking about opportunities, and we had an interesting lineup. We've had JP. I've had Winnie, and last week, not last week, but the other week I had Tendai. Oh, that was another interesting show. So today we have let me not use the word title, but we're going to be discussing on building relevance in a tech era.
Yeah.
As you've already said, you are an tech expert, enthusiast. So maybe before I jump right into getting to the point where we discuss how, as young people, as young women out there, how do we build relevance? Maybe let me start with, first of all, what opportunities are we missing in the tech era?
Everything. Everything, because the fun fact that you'll be able to see is that the future is going to be tech.
Yes.
And this is not just for make it exciting and make it all like everyone to feel that they are lagging behind, but that's the truth of the matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stats that I was just checking today is like 85 to 90% of future jobs will require IT, and this was an estimation of 2018 looking at 2020.
Wow.
It might be different in the third world countries because we are always seeing people selling things outside there, but you see that there's a shift of people focusing on coming out of their spaces to sell things online. You have seen that there's a lot of place your orders. There's a lot of people putting their catalog on WhatsApp and a number of things. All these things are responding to this paradigm shift or people coming out of their spaces in the offline space and going online. And so I would say people that are not leveraging digital are missing everything, because the future is going to be digital. And digital in nature that not necessarily that you have to be a person who goes in class and learn how to code, but someone who understands what is digital. Because that's the whole conversation. What is digital? And I find that people are missing that. And today we'll talk about that.
All right. So already I was just trying to connect to the discussions we've been having over the past few weeks of creating opportunities and realizing when an opportunity is there is being presented. So as you've already put it, we are missing out because everything else in our world, in our communities, in our surrounding is becoming digital. We are becoming digital without even knowing that we're becoming digital. Yeah. So maybe let's now backtrack to our conversation today. What is digital? What's the first thing that should come to our mind when we hear digital? Maybe it's a complex term. Let's decompress it.
Yes, I think every time people hear about digital, the thinking has always been code. Has been some computer wizard somewhere behind the desk or hacking some things. But digital is an enabler. Digital is, in simple terms, digital is an enabler. Digital is what makes communication easy, what makes work efficient, what makes things sustainable, things fast, something like that. Digital is an enabler. When you look at it, you look at digital as technology that is there to enable particular functions. So in many scenarios, the conversation of digital has always rotated around people that have studied computer science, for instance. People that have gone to do computer science, computer engineering, and they said, these guys are digital.
Someone's doing IT.
Yes. So this guy is a digital. But the truth is, digital is just every technology that enables you to do something. So for instance, what we are doing here, the technology of through radio, this is digital. This is digital as well.
Wow.
Yes, the technology that enables you to, let's say, to sell something online. If you're using Facebook or something, that's digital. If you are, for instance, using a particular machine in the hospital, for instance, to support a particular person who's admitted, and you're trying to see to measure the heartbeat and heartbeat, that's digital. So sometimes we limit ourselves when we think about digital. We always think digital is when you know how to code. And digital is when you know how to do particular gig kind of activities. But digital is everything that you do that enables you to do a particular function, but using technology. And technology is in different formats. So the interesting thing about this whole technology thing is what is coming up now. So all along, we have been talking about digital in terms of where, okay, let's have access to the internet. Yes, having access to the internet is digital, but there are other things that also correspond. You cannot be connected to the internet, but you can still use digital in other spaces.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why we would have, for instance, we cannot be connected to the internet, for instance, in a particular, let's say, podcast, but you're leveraging digital because you're creating something using a computer, and then you'll be able to share it to different people. Wow. So that's digital. So digital is the enabler in the agriculture sector. Digital is what enables people to be able to measure and to have an estimate of what weather will look like in the next season and make decisions. Digital is an enabler for them, even just to see where are we going to sell. So digital is that whole piece, is the whole conversation around technology that enables activities to happen. I was just doing a podcast, so I've studied.
I was about to ask you on the podcast. So yes, tell us about the podcast.
Yes, I've studied having conversations because I've had passion to talk about different things, specific around take and around theology. So I've studied my own podcast or video series that I'm talking about different things. And I was talking about the same thing around digital transformation, because in different organizations, where I've been working in different organizations for a lot of years, I think 9 years working in different organizations and consulting as well in the private sector. Every time people think about digital transformation or digital in nature, they think about all the techie stuff. They don't think about business. They don't think about progression. That's why all my explanation here is not talking about, okay, digital is when you know PHP as a language. Digital is when you know how to Google and stuff. No, I'm talking about digital as an enabler for you to do something.
Wow.
And that's what I've been advocating for a long time that people should not fear digital, people should really leverage digital. And we talk about how women should also leverage digital, because that's a space that is also lacking because of the digital gender divide that is there, and how digital has been protected as a masculine space, which is very dangerous and is really pushing women outside and really affecting the economy as well in a bigger picture.
Wow. We have a lot to unpack. I feel like we should book you for the next 1 month.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
So that, I mean, you have tackled so many areas and my mind is blown, because as you've already said, I think when we hear the term digital, we always think it's this skill that someone needs to have. You need to have a computer, you need to be able to code, you need to be able to create a program, create an application. But basically, we have been using digital without even knowing that we're using digital. We have been digital for a long time. And as you're saying, the ability for us to transmit to different regions and different places right now is digital.
It's digital. Yeah, I would really like to echo that part, because if you are there today and you are able to communicate to different people around the world, you're using digital. The question now should be, how do you leverage digital to really be effective?
How do you use it effectively?
How do you cultivate the skills that will enable you to really get what you want to get? And that's the conversation that we need to have today, because most people are using digital. People even in the villages, they're able to understand, they're able to read the signs. Okay, so this is a communication. When they get a phone, they receive something via their phone, and they believe that. Previously, you didn't believe something that comes on the phone. You want to believe
to see it.
To really see it. But now people can believe, they can receive a text message to say, oh yes, money has come to my account, and they can believe it. They can believe digital money. That's a transition. And that's what we need to really leverage as of this time. And then maybe to talk about different opportunities that people are missing because of not adopting digital. Is everything around different sectors. So when you're looking at digital, look at a sector, have a sector angle, a sector perspective. So for instance, if you're in agriculture, don't pursue to say, I want to leave agriculture and I want to study computer science so that I become digital. No. Look at the problems that are in the agriculture sector and look at the innovations that are there. And be part of those conversations. Because digital is not you knowing a particular code, but knowing even the systems that are already existing. You did create Facebook, but you're able to use Facebook to transact, to do business. You didn't create mobile money, Bamba, you didn't create Airtel money, but you're able to use it. So you are not a digital savvy person because you're able to create, but you can be a digital savvy person if you understand the use of that particular gadget or that particular system, and you're able to leverage that to achieve what you want to achieve.
Wow. Okay. So I know as a third world country, as you've really put it out, most of us are so busy in developing our soft skills. What do we miss out when we only develop our soft skills and not necessarily develop our digital skills? As you've already put it, that someone who's in the agriculture sector, in gender, in different sectors, how does one move, or maybe earn on from just developing your soft skills, but also developing your digital skills? So
what is happening is the future that we are going to is the conversation will be digital in nature. Solutions will be digital in nature. So for instance, even in the gender sector, for people to really track cases of gender-based violence, there will be a lot of digital being used. If you are in the conversation of gender and you're not thinking digital, you're going to be lagging behind. Because these innovations like the University of the inequalities, the dashboards that are being created by different organizations to track these things, you're going to miss them out and you're not going to think about the future. So different countries, different organizations are thinking about the future. They're thinking about how best do we connect to people and hear and still advocate what we want to advocate by using digital, by leveraging the skills that are there. So let's talk about agriculture. If you are going to be doing agriculture without leveraging digital, it means you're not going to have insights. You're not going to leverage the analytics that are there. And that you can project. So you can project the weather, you can project the sales, and you're going to move out, go there, do your agriculture, and come back and don't sell, and you're going to fall in bankruptcy because you're not leveraging. So the conversation is shifting from just us, let's talk about what is happening here, to let's talk about an inclusive world where everyone is involved. And that inclusive world is happening because of digital, because the globalization that has been there in the previous years. There's been people coming, leaving their cities and going to different towns and then connecting. Now you can be here and work in England. You can be here and work in the USA. So if you don't take advantage of that, you lose out for so many things that are there. And let me just talk about this part about innovations. So there are so many innovations that are happening. And it's quite scary. When you work out, you think like you have an idea. When you just Google, you find that the idea is already gone.
The idea is really there. Yeah.
For you to be relevant, you need to grasp, you need to be fast in getting what is happening and take advantage and use it. There are people who are making money because they know how to use, let's say, SAP for accounting. They know how to use this other accounting software that people use, QuickBooks. You don't have to create QuickBooks for you to make money.
Yes.
You have to take advantage of QuickBooks. People are using Adobe Photoshop to create the designs. You don't have to create your own system, but you need to know the skills.
Yes.
So these innovations that are in different sectors, that's what we need to learn. So if we are saying that, for instance, women need to take advantage, is teaching more women to learn skills of the innovations that are there, so that when they know that, they're able to have a conversation in the agriculture sector, have a conversation in the gender sector, have a conversation in the medical sector, and know what innovations are there and be able to contribute. That's being a digital survey for me.
Wow. So I was reading somewhere, I think that was yesterday or the day before, on the COVID-19 pandemic. This article was saying that the COVID-19 pandemic has pushed third world countries, for example Malawi, to embrace technologies, to embrace digital platforms that we could have embraced 20 years from now.
Yeah.
That's forced us to actually accept that it's okay to have a class using Zoom and it be effective. Yeah. What do you have to say about that? Are we ready? Do you think we are ready, or after COVID-19 we'll go back to our old ways and forget Zoom and forget these spaces that we were able to use during this COVID? We were able to work from home. I didn't know it was possible. Yeah. I worked in the government and I was like, oh, it's possible.
Yeah. So you see, the funny thing around this whole thing is we have always known the technologies. We have known all these tools that are there, innovations that are there. Zoom has been there.
Yes.
Before the pandemic, Zoom was there.
Yes.
People have been using Zoom. Have been using Teams. Was not popular then, but it was Skype and Zoom somewhere there. We did not talk about these things because we never felt to do that. But the pandemic, yes, has really pushed us, and that's what challenges really do to people. They push you to do things. When you are challenged, or when you are having different difficulties in doing other things, you are pushed towards a particular direction, and that's what the pandemic has done. So yes, we've been ready. We've been ready for a long time.
We have been ready.
But the problem that has been there is there's a systematic shift that needs to happen for digital to be adopted.
Yes.
So when you're thinking about digital, don't think about it from all people are using the gadgets. You need to think about the policy as well. What are the policies that are guiding institutions, as institutions, organizations, government agencies, but also the government itself? Because if the rule of the government is we cannot have an effective meeting if we're doing it on Zoom or if we're doing it online. Yes. We have to meet, people have to be to see each other, we have to work on a flip chart.
In-person interaction.
It means that all the organizations, in fact it's every organization, every business works with the government. It means they cannot shift. The shift will happen if the policy framework is also responding to this shift that is happening to different organizations. So different organizations want to serve. So TNM, they were promoting this as a product of you doing video conferencing. You are in this area, they'll give this bandwidth, they help you so that you cannot go that place, so you can save. Those innovations cannot happen if the policy framework is limiting people. So for instance, if there's a policy framework that is pushing straight to say meetings can happen online. If you want to talk about allowances and the rest, you can discuss how you can arrange that.
Yes, but we can discuss on how
meetings will still happen online, and this will be okay. That's when we can see that paradigm shift of everyone going there, because the government is a big influencer. So that's where things are happening. Now people are doing it forcibly because they're forced.
Yes, and again, it has forced us.
It has forced us to do that.
But post the pandemic, I think we need to.
Post-pandemic, people need to have this conversation. So apart from just saying, yes, we have moved, we can go back to our normal ways if we don't make a policy framework. Because the policy framework around digital and around allowing people to say, this is how we can serve. For instance, the government is struggling with so many, let's say, activities in terms of money and stuff. one of the ways is to make sure that let's just invest in digital and make sure that people don't meet. And we can save on a number of things. All these conferencing packages, fuel, and all those things.
Yes.
You would save all these things, and at the end of the day, what will happen? Even the private sector, all the organizations that are supporting the government who also follow us. And then we'll move. So what really needs to happen is we really have to, because we can go back. It's possible for us to go back.
And I think we are slowly going back. We are slowly trying to reimagine our world in a way that, of course, we include digital, but also go back to our old ways where we have personal interactions, just so that we do not look like we're conforming. I think that's one of the issues that we have. So yes, in our last few minutes, I would like to for you to share maybe what opportunities are there for women. Why do women need to invest?
Yeah. So yes, in the blog we're also talking about the same thing. I'm saying that I am doing a study on digital gender divide. This is one of the things that is close to my heart. I believe that women are really limited, and research has shown it, that from time immemorial, women are being deprived of different opportunities, and that would not go to digital. So digital has been a space where it has been seen as a male-centered kind of space, and women have been deprived. So how is this depriving coming to the whole picture? So it comes from one, access. So that you find that women don't have access, and it goes into the culture and stuff that really limit people, and we really need to have a conversation, a serious one around how culture really break women for them not to leverage digital. Yes. And then issues of training. There are the spaces where people train. So if you go in a class in a university, look at how many people, let's say, are doing ICT, because ICT it will get you to that kind of path. Anyway, you find that you will find 3 women, and then the rest are boys. So that really happens. And when you look at the higher level of appointment in the leadership sector, you also find that women are not there. It's always men that are appointed to run digital, to be a digital director and stuff of that nature. So that really impacts the whole thing. But what can women do for them to really now get the opportunities? One is they have to be sector-led. This is something that people always, let's go to the training, let's do these things. Yes, it's very important to do the training, but always think about a sector. Be a master. Achieve a set of mastery in your area that you want to focus on. So this would be, for instance, if you're in a medical field, be a master to understand what happens there, so that you can now leverage the innovations that are already existing to that space, and you can be able to lead via digital and be relevant in the space. Second thing is to do the constant learning as well. So in my learning, I focus on 3 things. You do the reading, you do the watching, and you do the observing. So many people read, and they read a lot of books, and they'll be happy, I read books. But it doesn't work like that. You need also to watch how people are really doing it, because it really helps you. It puts your imagination into practice, and then also do the observing, see how people are really doing it in actual practice. So all these approaches that are happening, that are important for women, they will help women to really do it. And then lastly is action the solutions. So you are in a sector, you have known the issues, and you have learned, you have watched, you have observed. Do act. Do something. Don't sit there. Take is assimilated when there is a constant practice. Let me repeat this.
Wow.
Take is assimilated in your life, in your system, in your operations when there is constant practice. Take is not something that you are going to do today and you do it in the next 5 days, in the next 5 years, or in the next year, or in the next month. Because things are constantly changing every day in every space. So in whatever innovation that you are doing, you are embracing, you should know that take is changing and you have to be there. So women, there is a barrier already. There's a barrier for you to access digital. There is from access to training to even leadership. You need to gang up. There has to be a lot of women really having conversation around digital and how they can influence. And even the whole thing of policy. This is something that I'm also focusing in my study. That when it comes out, I think I'll have different, a serious one, because after the research, I'll have really data around this. But there is policy issue as well that really prevents women from really accessing all these things. Yes. But at the end of the day, there's women break the barrier, break the ceiling of digital, because it's male-centered, but you can break it. You can break the way people are breaking different sectors for different innovations. Digital is also an area, because the future is going to be digital more. It's not going to break your industry. And will still be there. Medical is going to be there. The whole activism on gender will be there. But digital will have overridden everything. And you have to know how digital is flowing. You have to know the innovation so that you're also leading. You can't lead in this era without digital.
And also, the digital divide is, especially the gender digital divide, is also costly for the economy.
Yeah.
Because that means there is a sector in the economy that is not progressing with digital, as everything else has progressed.
Yeah.
So we lose as a country if we don't push for it.
If we don't push for women to really be there, really have the skills, we lose a lot, because women are business led.
Yes.
Women are really there to do a lot of things. The innovations have been led by most women.
Yes.
Yeah, so if we prevent them from leading in the digital space, we make it male-centered, and we lose a lot of opportunity that would have happened if it was more inclusive. So there is a need for an inclusive digital space in Malawi and the world in different spaces, and it starts with you women leading the change.
Wow. Hello, my ladies and dear listeners. This is a call for us to action. Thank you so much, McDonald, for coming in today. I really enjoyed the conversation. It was insightful. It was enlightening. I think I've really enjoyed having this conversation with you. And thank you so much. And thank you, our dear listeners, for tuning in today. I'll leave you with Have My Heart by Mary City Music. And enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you so much, McDonald.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.